Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. Hey, I'm Presto, and you're watching Pros and Joycons. Today, we're gonna dive into the pros and cons of Pokemon Legends Arceus. Since Pokemon Legends Arceus is set in ancient Sinnoh, the region that the Diamond and Pearl games are from, it's technically a brand new Pokemon region called Hisui. As such, the game includes multiple new variants of Pokemon, from my personal favorite, Hisuian Growlithe. I'm a dog person, okay? To other fun and interesting variants, like the striking colors of Hisuian Zora, who is now an Ice-type. The game also features some Pokemon that were never seen before this game, like Weirdeer and Kleavor. Arceus is an open zone game. Not quite an open world, but 5 large open zones where players can go explore wherever. The problem here is that there isn't really a lot to explore. Other than the multiple various Pokemon that populate the countryside, this place is emptier than a GameStop on the Wii U's launch day.
Wait, I thought this was a launch party for the PlayStation Vita.
Basically, these worlds are fairly desolate, other than the Pokemon you'll encounter, with maybe 3 interesting landmarks in a single zone. You won't find things like NPCs here because the world is so uncolonized and wild. I feel like they chose to do this both to fit the vibe of the game, and also to make the game cheaper and easier to produce. Classic Pokemon Company. Battles are a lot quicker than mainline Pokemon games. Personally, I find normal Pokemon battles to be slow and kinda boring. Arceus speeds these up immensely, with animations being quicker and the menu being smoother to navigate, as well as each move packing a punch compared to its mainline counterparts. If you're a level or 2 above the Pokemon you're fighting and have type advantage, it's almost guaranteed you'll OHKO it. The added strong and agile styles of attack help mitigate this, letting you choose whether to attack with a heavier or lighter hit. Choosing the lighter option can even affect turn order in your favor, letting you attack twice. This game adds the most depth to the Pokemon formula since Gen 6. Which is funny considering that's where the next Legends game is set. If a nearsighted individual started playing this game without their glasses on, they might say, "Hey, that almost looks good enough to be a GameCube game." Yeah, the visuals here aren't great. They are, however, a step up from Sword and Shield, and a step in the right direction. Should these be the visuals of a game released by the biggest company on the planet? No, but at least it's not Scarlet and Violet. This game has a good story, probably the best since Sun and Moon. Individual characters all have different stories and motivations, and all feel unique with some fun ancient Japan-inspired designs. This game also opens with Arceus kidnapping a child and sending them back in time. He does give you a sweet cell phone though. "Hey, I'm gonna separate you from your home, your family, and your friends forever." Excuse me? But you get a cell phone! Yay! More than anything, what sets this game apart from most Pokemon games is the more action-oriented gameplay. Wandering through this open world and seeing a Pokemon, you can hide in the tall grass and catch a Pokemon without even entering a battle. Watch out though, because if they notice you, they'll attack. Luckily, this isn't Pal World, but just because the Pokemon don't have actual guns, doesn't mean they aren't dangerous. You'll have to make use of the brand new dodge move to escape from their lightning bolts, fire blasts, and tackles. Oh, and since this is an action-oriented game, I am happy to report that it runs at a solid frame rate the entire time. Unlike you. Grinding to get to the next story objective can be unfun. In order to leave one area, you have to get a certain star rank by catching enough Pokemon. Once you're done with the story in an area, you basically do nothing but catch Pokemon until you achieve that star rank, which can get a bit tedious at times. When the game launched, it didn't have support for Pokemon Home. Luckily, we eventually got support for it, which means you can now transfer your Hisuian team into Pokemon Home. You'll be using a lot of Pokeballs in this game, which you can buy at the hub area, for the price of a PS5 on launch day. Basically, finding items to craft your own Pokeballs is what the game wants you to do, but this can get annoying when you can't locate enough materials to do so. Finding the specific tree that gives you the acorn you need, or the specific shiny rock that gives you the specific shiny rock you need, can get a little bit annoying. As I said earlier, you need the Pokeballs to progress, as you'll be doing a lot of catching. Luckily, I can teach you how to do that.
Hey kids, welcome to Camping with Presto. So, you need Pokeballs so you can progress to the next area? Well, that's easy. Follow my simple 3-step guide. Step 1, look for materials. Not seeing anything. Step 2, take a deep breath. Step 3, give up.
Something to aid you in the search for more Pokemon, as well as just general transportation, are the 5 ride Pokemon. 4 of them are actually helpful with transportation, and the other one is Ursaluna. Ursaluna tracks down treasures, but I've never really had a use for him. Weirdeer, the weird deer, is great for fast land travel. Basculegion lets you sail through the seas in style, and Hisuian Bravery lets you claim the skies. Although, the way he flies is weird. I mean, have you ever seen a bird flap its wings to launch it straight up in the air, and then slowly glide down, not gaining any altitude? Oh, since this game was set in the past, every bird must have flown like that back then. Like how everything was black and white before the 60s. Oh yes. But there's one ride Pokemon I haven't touched on yet. The final ride Pokemon lets you climb up cliffs. A good enough ability that comes in handy quite a lot, but the issue here isn't the ability. It's the design of the Pokemon that gives it. This is Sneasler. What the actual flabebe is this? This thing looks like an awkward second evolution that never got a third one, and the color scheme is just a mess. I'd rather climb up the walls attached to a back of a Caterpie than using this monstrosity. The gameplay loop of going on an expedition, catching Pokemon, heading back to the town, leveling up, crafting items, and doing it all over again is seriously fun and addicting. I still go into this game sometimes to run around, relax, and catch some Pokemon. The gameplay loop is really what kept me playing, even more so than the story, which is more than I could say about any other Pokemon game. The hub town, well, cool looking, isn't very deep, and most of the side quests are skippable. Just your normal, I don't know what this Pokemon looks like, can you show it to me? No, I can't show it to you. But I can show you what the inside of a Pokeball looks like. The boss battles in this game are immaculate, and easily the best part of the game for me. You fight these frenzied Pokemon who are glowing yellow. How do you stop them? Bring out your inner babysitter and throw stuff at them until they calm down. These fights are intense and have you throwing and dodging and swerving and ducking until the enemy finally dies. These also offer quite a lot of challenge as well, as I died at least once on all of them. It isn't clocked for the Super Nintendo! After you beat the game, stop! Well, don't stop. The game's story continues after the credits, and includes some very important character motivations and fun missions involving legendaries you don't see on the main playthrough. One of the battles in the post-game is the most memorable Pokemon battle I have ever fought, and was pretty challenging as well. The last bit of post-game requires you to catch every Pokemon in the game. A couple of these can be hard to come across, like having to get lucky about which tree a Wormadam appears in, or having to find every free soul floating around Hisui to form a Spiritomb. Hey, you want this Pokemon? Go around the island and look for dead souls. Yeah, this is a kid's game. I personally still haven't finished the last post-game item, just because catching every single Pokemon is such a difficult task. Pokemon Legends Arceus has the best shiny odds out of any Pokemon game. Since this game is considered a spin-off by the Pokemon Company, it doesn't have any online battles, which is quite a shame, because I really like the battle system in this game. As such, there is no PvP or multiplayer of any kind, even locally. The music in this game is immaculate. From frantic battle themes to the cozy Jubilite Village song that you hear every time you log into the game. I'm saving the starter lineup here for the last point, because the starter lineup here is good and brings interesting starters from throughout the series back and gives them new final evolutions. Oshawott is a surefire pick any day, Cyndaquil is adorable, and Rowlet is just my favorite starter of all time. It helps that their final evolutions are unique to this game, so it feels rewarding when you finally level them up. And there you have it, folks. I think you've heard everything about whether or not you should pick the game up. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe to the Gaming Corner podcast and check out our other videos. leave a like, and comment down below your favorite and least favorite parts of Pokemon Legends Arceus. I'll see you on the Switch side.